guys, Simon. This is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight wasn't AEW Dynamite, but instead AEW Summer Blockbuster, a show that went 4 hours and roughly 4 hours and like 10-15 minutes. And actually, I can tell you exactly. Let me see. It went off the air because I sent out a tweet right as the show was going off the air. So it went off the air at. What time did I send this tweet? Uh, 8 minutes. 4 hours and 8 minutes. So there's like a minute or two. I sent it at 11:06. There's like a minute or two left, and they were like, "Oh, next week we're gonna be in Mexico." And so yeah, cool. But there's a lot to talk about. I will say, please don't give me these 4-hour shows anymore. These 4-hour shows are boring for the most part. Like, here's the thing. I don't get this. Is Collision this bad every week? I don't watch Collision most weeks. But it's like the first 2 hours of this was a pretty good Dynamite. And you can tell Tony is booking two separate shows. He's booking a Dynamite and then a Collision because they have their Dynamite main event and then the Collision show. And that's exactly what it is. The first 2 hours are a Dynamite. And the second 2 hours are a good, at best, okay Collision. Like, why do we need that 8-man tag 2 weeks in a row? Why does that need to be the 4-hour main event? It doesn't make sense. Because that 8-man tag meant nothing. It meant even less this week. Because we already saw it last week. So it's like, why? Why did we need another 8-man tag in the main event? And don't get me started about next week. The 8-man tag is turned into a 10-man tag. No. 12-man? Which one is it? There's a 10-man, 12-man. This fucking 8-man tag has now turned into a 12-man tag, and we're getting a 10-man tag. What the fuck? I get it. Everyone wants to work this show. Everyone wants to work Arena Mexico. It's one of the most prestigious places you could work right now. Cool. I get it. But, like, we're getting these matches, and it's Adam Cole. Oh, it's not even all a Paragon. It's Adam Cole, Daniel Garcia, Brody King, Atlantis, that other dude that came down to help with Atlantis, I don't even know, and the ROH World Champion Bandito against Hechicero, FTR, Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and Konosuke Takeshita. That's the 12-man tag. Then you got the 10-man tag, which might build to something, but might not because fucking Hangman's not even in it. What the fuck? It's Mox, Yuta, and Claudio teaming with the Bucks to take on the Ops, which is Joe Shibata and Hobbs against Swerve and Ospreay. Now, it hasn't been announced by AEW, but I've basically been told the plan is Swerve and Ospreay against the Bucks at All In. That is the goal. That's been the goal. So that's the match they are going to be doing. Swerve and Ospreay teaming up against the Young Bucks for nothing. For nothing. And I guess, like, you could say, well, they built it up a little tonight because they handcuffed Swerve and super kicked him over. So it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of a heated rivalry, but it doesn't really matter. That's AEW's issue. Storylines that matter. And like the Bucks, for some reason, wanting to go after Swerve. For what reason? I haven't seen any reason on television why they want to fight Swerve. Why? Because they were all in, or Swerve at least, was in Anarchy in the Arena. He didn't even want the Bucks for that. He wanted Mox. Mox, I'm coming after you. Let's make it Anarchy. You know what I mean? So what are the Bucks feuding with Ospreay and Swerve for? I still haven't been given a freaking reason. I haven't been given a reason. So I don't know about that one. So it's like two big matches. And then next week as well. Don't get me started. There's no way Mercedes loses unless she gets screwed by Tony. But I don't see it. I see her winning, beating freaking Zuxus, and getting a 5th freaking belt. What? Why does Mercedes need the CMLL championship? It doesn't make any sense. Why is she even challenging for the belt? Oh, because she wants all the gold and all the land. But it's like she already has the title match, which in theory, you would think for AEW at least, that this world title match, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. MJF and Mystico, that should be fun. But that's the only match where I'm like, okay, cool. We're getting this match. I'm interested. But it's like, that's it. I did like MJF calling him Sin Cara. That was pretty funny. But anyways, we got a bunch to talk about. We got a 4-hour freaking show to break down. So I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, if you want to support us in another way and get some cool stuff, you can hit the join button to become a channel member. As a channel member, you get emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat in the comments section. You get a badge next to your name. Then you also get some cool stuff that I'm teaching you. You're getting stuff that you can actually maybe even take and make money off of, because I'm teaching you Photoshop. Eventually, we'll start doing After Effects graphics and packages and stuff and tutorials as well. But right now, you're learning Photoshop for only $1. I'm teaching you how to make my graphics, how to make my graphics packages. We do have the latest ones that go up were our WWE Battleground graphics. Tomorrow we should be putting up, either tomorrow or Friday, we should be putting up our AEW Double or Nothing 2025 graphics. So if you're subscribed as a channel member on YouTube or over at patreon.com/PW Unlimited, we do appreciate that. You'll get at the $1 tier our tutorial. And that's $5 tier. You get the full graphics package with all the assets, the PSD file, and so forth. I want to say thank you to I want to say there was like 5 more subscribers this week. I really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone that is supporting us over there. You should keep that light and 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 those lights all on for us. Keeping the content flowing and going here at PW Unlimited. And also remember, another way to support us and to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, donate a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5 or haven't played it in a while and you want the enhanced edition? Well, it's only $15 right now on the Epic Game Store. So when you go and buy that, use this code. Also, another great Rockstar game, Red Dead Redemption 2. Also $15. Plus, Fortnite just started their new super season. You're going to get a cool Robin skin. And then on July 11th, you're going to get a cool Superman skin with corn sweat Superman. But, if you buy 25 extra levels now, you get that Superman skin early. And whether you're buying just the normal Battle Pass or the extra Battle Pass levels, use our code, PWUNLIMITED, whether that's on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your Switch 2, your phone, your tablet, or your PC. Use our code PW Unlimited for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. As far as this show does go, AEW Summer Blockbuster. Show itself kicks off with, comes on the air with Timeless Tony Storm being driven in the arena by Luther on a tricycle. Then see Christopher Daniels walking with Hangman Adam Page. They're talking backstage, and he's like, hey, you can't fight all the Death Riders by yourself. I can't help you. We got people here in the locker room that are willing to help you. Daniels tells Page that the Young Bucks don't have your back either, so don't count on them. So despite saying they have your best interest, they really don't, because they only look out for themselves. Danielson said, we got a great locker room. He again says, we have a great locker room that would love to help you. Just think about it. Page walks off, but then Moxley is shown spying and said to the Death Riders, and so the Death Riders, Paige needs to get taken down. And then we get the opening video. I'm like, why the fuck is Moxley spying on them? That just felt kind of weird and awkward. Like, is Moxley nervous? Moxley worried about old Hanger, the Hangman? I don't know, but let me turn my fan on real fast. It's getting a little warm in here. Book Caliber welcomes us to the show. It's Taz and Ian Riccaboni with him. So I said this last week, and I think it's what it's going to be. When we get these longer shows, as far as whether that is a 4-hour show live on TV or a 4-hour show in the building, Ian is going to take the Shivani spot on Dynamite. So that way Shivani isn't out there for 4 straight hours. So, because basically what they do is it's Excalibur and Taz always on Dynamite, and then either Shivani or Riccaboni. If they're doing a double taping with a collision, Riccaboni gets the Dynamite spot. And then it is Shivani and Nigel doing the collision stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, and then they even swap out the ring announcers. So it's like not Justin Roberts for the second 2 hours, it's Arcadiora. And I'm like, yeah, this is just a fucking shitty collision. And that's what it was. The second 2 hours of the show was one of them boring, shitty collisions. First 2 hours was a pretty good Dynamite with good build to like next week and the pay-per-view all in and stuff. But then it's like, then you get the stuff on Collision that's just like, what? Why are we doing that? Maximum male models? Fuck. They're with Johnny TV. So dumb. But the show does kick off with Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. And it almost did the trope that I hate AEW does. We went to a 30-minute draw, and Swerve grabs the mic, and he's like, we can't end it like that. We got to keep going. I know you want a real winner. I want a real winner. Sudden death. And my first thought was, well, first off, what the fuck is the reason for the time limit? And then they get attacked, and there's a brawl, and I'm like, okay, never mind. But we see too often in AEW. You go to the time limit, and someone goes, 5 more minutes. I want 5 more minutes. Let's go. And they do it so much that I'm like, that's what they're doing again here. So I was happy that they did something different. But then why the hell did Swerve say sudden death? Isn't every single match, or at least 99% of matches, sudden death? Unless we're told it's 2 out of 3 falls. Isn't just about every match sudden death? Just saying. Just saying. But as far as the match goes, pretty good match. Bell sounds, and before they even say anything, the crowd starts chanting, holy shit. Both shake hands in the middle of the ring. I'm like, they haven't done anything yet. Why are we chanting holy shit? Anyways, both trade head scissors, with the other flipping out into a stalemate. Strickland was the one to throw the first little strike here and busted Ospreay's nose open. Now, it looked like you actually clocked them and then rocked them, but then he was bleeding from the nose at one point. And then not long later, he's bleeding from the mouth. At least it looked like, unless it was the nose running into the mouth and we couldn't really tell. But regardless, I'll talk about it later. There's a weird thing where they were checking Ospreay's head for some reason. I don't know. Later on in the show. Anyways, they have a chop battle, which Strickland did win, as he followed this up with an uppercut out of the corner before hitting the gritty. He had a rolling flatliner that connected. Strickland remained in control with the backbreaker, keeping Ospreay grounded. Ospreay fired off a chop to the windpipe right in the throat. There's a handspring corkscrew kick and a pip cheerio that sends Strickland to the outside, where Ospreay followed this up with the Sasuke special. And as we go to a commercial, back from said break, Ospreay hit another springboard forearm to the back of the head of Swerve, and then tried to go for the Os cutter, but Strickland caught him with a neck breaker in midair. At one point, Ospreay whiffed a desperation hidden blade at first, but then tried it again and took Strickland's head off. Strickland spun out of a Stormbreaker attempt into a tilt-a-whirl side slam, only for Ospreay to answer back with a Stundog Millionaire. Ospreay wanted to go for an Os cutter to answer this all up, but didn't get it. Got cut off again in midair. Ospreay powdered it to the outside, and then almost hit a wheelbarrow, blinding into the corner buckle. He came back in. Strickland then hit a pump fake high and went for a knee. He faked the pump kick and then kneed him. Really cool looking spot. Sprung the ropes, and then Ospreay caught him with a cheeky Nando's and a poison Rana. One point, Ospreay went to hit a top rope hidden blade. Nana was left with a baffled look on his face. They went to a break. Ospreay locked on a figure four afterwards. Or no, during the break. We saw there's picture-in-picture here. I forgot that one. There was a regular break and a picture-in-picture. So this was the picture-in-picture break. So Ospreay had the figure four in the picture-in-picture. When we returned, there were multiple thrust kicks that landed flush, but only woke up Strickland. As Ospreay sprung for the fences with a hidden blade, missed, and crashed badly in the corner. Strickland worked a Kimura up the ropes and hit a superplex in the process. At one point, Strickland was up top, but he missed a swerve stomp, only for Ospreay to connect with a charging hidden blade for the close near fall. Galber tells us we're at the 25-minute mark, which means 5 minutes left in this match, and these two are slugging it out. Strickland snapped Ospreay's bad shoulder down, leading to a quick house call, as it was followed up by a swerve stomp, but Ospreay kicked out. Swerve then bent the arm back and snapped it down. Ospreay at one point took too long, contemplating on if he should go for the Tiger Driver, allowing Strickland to spin out into a vertebreaker. There's a house call that caught Ospreay flush, but both rolled to the aprons, and they were kind of like taking their time to recover. As commentary is yelling, hey, there's less than a minute left. Taz goes, I think they just said 30 seconds. Strickland then was about to deliver a swerve stomp on the apron when all of a sudden, ding, 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 the bell rings. The match is over. This match is a draw. And it's like, oh, okay. So they gave us this match and didn't want to beat either guy. So now they give Strickland a microphone. He's like, no. This can't end like this. This is AEW. We're the best wrestle, and we need a finish. We need to prove who the best actually is. I know you don't want to end the match like this. And I'm just like, and like I said earlier, I was like, oh, no, not again. He's like, sudden death. And I'm like, no, what? No, because like I said earlier, too often does AEW ruin the time limit gimmick with the whole 5 more minutes, and then they go like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like I said, too often AEW has ruined the time limit gimmick. And so I thought again tonight, because they do it so much, well, they're going to keep going. We're going to get another 2-3 minutes, and then boom, we got a winner. But I'm kind of glad they didn't. Like, I would love to see who they would have picked to actually put over, because I was kind of like, who do they put over in this match? I couldn't have predicted. Like, if anything, I would have probably said Ospreay. But yeah. Ryan Armstrong says, I didn't know there could be a draw in pro wrestling. So it depends on the company. So it's like in AEW, regular matches have a 30-minute time limit. Title matches have a 60-minute time limit. Now, Continental title matches had like a 20-minute time limit or something, whatever. Anyways, like New Japan also does time limits. It just depends on the company and how they want their stuff to be ran. And it's like wrestling companies that want to be considered more sport than entertainment usually do the time limit stuff. I can't remember if Ring of Honor did. I think they might have back in the day. I can't remember though. I can't fully remember. But I think they did because we've seen like Danielson 60-minute draws back in the day or whatever. But anyways, yeah. Like WWE doesn't. I don't think MLW doesn't. TNA doesn't do time limits unless it's like a specific time limit match, like an Iron Man or something. So most companies don't do the time limit. But like AEW wanted to be like New Japan because New Japan was the one that really made it a thing. And AEW wanted to be like New Japan, so they made time limits. Because Tony wanted it to be more sport-like. So before, more could happen, Death Rider's music hits and they walk out from the crowd. They surround Strickland and Nana until the Young Bucks run out and attack Swerve. They hit him with the EVP trigger. Nana ate a super kick, and Nicholas with some handcuffs on Swerve. Both hands tied up in the ropes. Then there was a super kick party over and over and over. I think he ate like 5 or 6 of them before Yuta threw a bag into the ring containing thumbtack-covered shoes. I think they were the Swerve shoes, just like Strickland used at Anarchy in the Arena. The Bucks then went to deliver dueling super kicks when Ospreay would appear and took the bullet. Doctors then quickly tended to him. And I'm like, okay. So he took these tack shoes to the head, and all of a sudden he's dead. Because later in the night, they show him being tended to in the trainer's room, where like they got his face covered with a towel, but like the towel's kind of bent over, and the doctors literally just, then this is Ospreay's head, and he's just literally like the towel's like this, and you just see him going, who is he pulling the tacks out 2 hours later, hour and a half later? He didn't get no tacks in his head. But yeah, weird. Anyways, really building up, you know, something, I guess you could say, between the Young Bucks, Swerve and Hangman, or Swerve and Ospreay. But I don't see the motivation of why do the Young Bucks hate Swerve and Ospreay. I get why the Swerve and Ospreay might hate the Young Bucks because of this from tonight, but I don't know. It's got no motivation for me. I hope in the next couple of weeks, we got a month to go. So I hope in the next couple of weeks we get some promos and they tell us why the Young Bucks don't like Swerve and Ospreay. Why Swerve and Ospreay? I can see why Swerve and Ospreay may want revenge, but it's like, I don't know. The motivation for me just isn't there. And then it's like, they're EVPs. If they don't like somebody, couldn't they just fire them? You know what I mean? Do they not have power anymore? They've never really had that kind of power. Do they have power to make matches, but they can't fire people? I don't know. I really don't know. Renee Paquette's backstage with Kazuchika Okada, who was about to talk when Don Callis walked in. Callis asked why Okada is in this match and not Fletcher or Takeshita. They should be the ones facing Omega. Callis shook his finger at Okada, who grabbed it. The Don Callis family would step in. Okada looked around and was like, bitch, and then walked off. We got footage of the Hurt Syndicate viciously beating up Commander backstage, and Commander is legit injured. So they had to do this angle to get Commander out of the 6-man or something. There was a match Commander was in, 6-man tag with the Hurt Syndicate. They had to get Commander out of that match because he showed up today and he was legit injured, not cleared to go. And so commentary was like, hey, they beat him up. He can't go. Mascara Dorado is going to take his spot. Cool. But it is a legit injury to Commander. We just don't know what the injury is. Let's see. I know Fightful had reported something on this, but I didn't check it. Yeah, no. I don't see anything here other than Sean did tweet, Commander is legit injured. So then, they've been hyping up, Mystico's going to be on this show. Cool. Well, Mystico took on Blake Christian. Match was okay. Kind of bored with it. Mystico wanted a handshake, but Christian flipped them off. He's a rebel. He's a bad boy. Both then traded quick series of takedowns until Mystico scaled the ropes. Christian slammed him down. Mystico battled back with a handspring back elbow and a head scissors before a twisting arm drag off the top sent Christian to the outside. Mystico hit a tope suicida, landing right on his face. And I'm like, oof, ah. Blake Christian just wasn't there to catch him. Before going back inside the ring with a springboard crossbody for a 2, Johnson tripped up and distracted Mystico, enough for Christian to fly in with a corkscrew dive and a 450 splash inside for a 2. Christian again went up to the top, but Mystico recovered, and an Enziguri Spanish fly and pinned him to pick up the victory. If they're supposed to be building up Mystico as this big star that's on the level of MJF, he did not need to take as much as he took from Blake Christian of all people. From Blake Christian of all people. And I'm going to talk about this with Tekla later too. I don't know what happened in that match. Queen Amanada, nothing against her. I think Queen Amanada is actually a really good wrestler. Queen Amanada did not need to get as much offense as she did. Never mind. I'm going to wait because I got something I want to. I don't know. I think Queen Amanada may have got a little pissed off with Thekla. Anyways, Hurt Syndicate come out. MVP said that he won't be the one to address Mystico tonight. MJF will. MJF said it was an impressive showing. And that's coming from the most complete pro wrestler in the world today. MJF will give Mystico a match at Grand Slam if he wants it. And he's looking forward to ripping that dime store mask right off his stupid little face. Mystico is getting a Patriot in Mexico as he's dusted off the red, white, and blue. God Bless America starts playing. A big-ass American flag drops down. And yeah, MJF got in the ring with the mic at this point, but Mystico cut him off, laughing, saying, "I'll see you next week in my home, Arena, Mexico." MJF says it's not MJF says he's not Mystico to him. You're nothing more than that sloppy Sin Cara. And I'm like, oh, they actually just said the name. Let me look up something. Does WWE still own that name? Let me look that up really fast. Does WWE still own the name Sin Cara? Because, like, he was not the only Sin Cara either. Where is... trademarks. Search. Sin Cara. He's not coming up at all. Search trademarks. There we go. Search the wrong spot. Sin Cara. Search. There's a couple of them here. There's quite a few of them here. They're still live and registered to WWE. So let's see. 4 have been trademarked. 3 are still live. Let's see. That one as of 2013. Still live and well. As of 2021, they refiled. Oh, wait. WWE refiled the name Sin Cara in October of 2024. Interesting. Okay, and what about this other one? Again, in October 2024, WWE. So they filed to trademark the name Sin Cara in 2020, and then there's a registration date in 2024. Not sure exactly how that all works, but yeah. WWE does still have the trademark, and they just recently re-got it or reclaimed it or re-upped it or something. I don't know exactly. I don't think they're trying to bring back a Sin Cara. They got an iguana. The marijuana iguana. If you know, you know. LSD's a trip, apparently, according to Mr. Iguana. Anyways. He calls him Sin Cara. Mystico then blocked the punch and dropped MJF the right hand. Lashley and Benjamin pounce the ring. It's 3-on-1. MJF demands the mask. Speedball, Kevin Knight, and Mascara Dorada come down to the ring. Her syndicate ran to cut them off in the aisle, but they appeared in the ring, and then they took out the Hurt Syndicate with some dives and this, that, and we went to the match. We get the match. It's the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MJF against the team of Mascara Dorada, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight, who I guess they're calling Jet Speed. Jet Speed. Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight are now known as Jet Speed. They bring in Speedball, and they push him as this big, great new signing. He's working Okada and all this kind of stuff. Then Kevin Knight. He's over here in the Owen, and he's fighting Ospreay and having great matches. And now these guys are just jobber tag team. Just a jobber tag team that means nothing, doing nothing with them. Are you kidding me? MJF's gear is like MVP's gear. As the bell sounds, the Hurt Syndicate attack, slamming Bailey and Knight into the barricade, while MJF just toyed with Dorada, doing a flip before hitting an eye poke. MJF mocked the crowd. Dorada returned the favor with an eye poke and a twisting head scissors before Bailey and Knight made the quick tags. The sliding uppercut and a running shooting star press combo that got a near fall as Bailey lit up MJF with kicks before Dorada sprung in and was backed into the wrong corner, though, where Lashley chucked Dorada to the floor. After a commercial break, MJF tried the ball and elbow, but missed. As MJF said, there's still a few things this guy needs to learn. Knight made the hot tag and ran wild, impressing even MVP after hitting a massive dropkick. Also forgot to mention MVP was on commentary. At one point, MJF hit a Made in Japan for a 2, but took too long mocking Speedball, who hit a pump kick. Dorada flew in and wiped out MJF, but Lashley sprinted in with a spear. Bailey unloaded with some machine gun kicks as Knight struggled. Got a DDT. The awkward double drop kick on Benjamin as Jet Speed hit dueling dives on Lashley and Benjamin as Dorada followed this up with a shooting star off the ropes onto MJF. Back in the ring, Bailey was doing something like he was going for like the ultimate weapon when MJF grabbed referee Bryce Remsburg, allowing MVP to crack Bailey off the top rope with his cane. Hammerlock DDT connects, and MJF pins Speedball to pick up the victory. Again, bring Speedball in. They make this big, huge fanfare. Oh, he's facing Okada for the title, and now he's just a jobber. Just in a random-ass tag team that means nothing as a jobber getting pinned here. You couldn't have pinned Mascara Dorada, of all people, especially since you're going to beat him down and yank his mask off anyways. So why not pin him as well? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Post-match, Lashley and Benjamin attack Knight and Bailey, leaving MJF alone in the ring with Mascara Dorada. MJF then yoinks the mask off of his head as Mystico flew in with La Mystica, causing MJF to tap out frantically. I wrote that wrong. Hurt Syndicate make the save, and Mystico sprinted away. That match is next week. MJF versus Mystico. Should be a pretty dang good match, if I do say so myself. So the Death Rider send a message to Hangman. For the break, Hangman Page's music hits, and we see he's going to come down to the ring and cut a promo. When he was, tossed through the entrance tunnel, hands tied behind his back, mouth duct taped shut. Claudio and Wheeler Yuta beating the hell out of him as they're taking him to the ring. Marina Shafir and John Moxley are following. Moxley told Page that he was terribly sorry about all this, but he wants to make sure that they could have a real conversation, and he knows how distracted Page can get at times. Moxley wants him to be focused and listen. This is the time for the AEW Championship. It's do or die. Moxley has been watching Page for a very long time. Complicated. And he doesn't like Page, the millennial cowboy that he is. Moxley doesn't know what Page has been searching for this whole time, but he has 4 weeks to find it, to step up and be the man that everyone thinks and wants him to be. If he's not prepared to do that, Page can pack his shit and get the hell out of here. Page fired up and hit a headbutt to Moxley as Claudio quickly wrapped a chair around his neck and was about to Pillmanize him when Moxley said, no, held him off. All of a sudden, the Ops music hit. Joe, Shibata, and Hobbs came down, running down to the ring. They ran off the Death Riders. Page was freed. And then he's like, I've come too far and too close for all this. I'm the best, and I'm going to show you that. He said that he's going to ride through death itself and get that AEW World title. He said, if Page finds one of them tonight, he said, I'm going to beat your asses and take your head. Page grabbed a chair, stormed through the crowd right after the Death Riders. They ran off. He ran after them, and there we go. Not a bad segment, but it's like they're really doing the thing of, hey, Page, you need some friends because Death Riders got the numbers, and they got your number tonight. They almost killed you. So I'm not hating it. I'm not really hating the whole, hey, Death Riders got the numbers thing. So it's like, who is Page going to recruit to help him? Is it going to be the Ops? Are they just going to be the ones that's going to have his back? And when, Claudio and Yuta run down to try and interfere at the pay-per-view, they're going to be there to cut him off? That's what it seems like. And I don't hate it. Any way where we don't get real interference and then they don't focus too much on that outside shit, I'm for it. As long as we keep it to the guys in the ring and then you maybe see Claudio try to interfere and boom, Joe grabs him. You see Yuta try to interfere and boom, Hobbs grabs him. And that's about it. They all brawl back to the crowd, whatever. Sure. Moving forward, we had another tag match. It was Mega Bane and Penelope Ford versus TJ, Anna Jay, and Ty Mello. Ty Mello's first AEW match in over 2 years. And this match wasn't good. This match was not good. Not at all. Not good. Ford and Jay were dropped early, leaving Mello and Bane standing tall. No, Mello and Bane, standing there to face off. I wrote that weird. Ford took out Jay early. Mello and Bane were facing off in the ring. Mello then said that she wasn't afraid of Megan Bane. Ford tripped Mello up and drove her into the steps on the outside as Jay was worked over with corner slaps and a handspring back elbow by Bane and Ford. Ford then licked Anna Jay in the process. Oh my, why are we doing this? Why are we licking people? Like, what? Like, later, Mercedes over here sniffing fucking Tony. Now I get it when it's Tony and Mina Shirakawa. That's their thing. But now Mercedes is getting in. I don't know. Anyways. Jay fired back with a series of elbow strikes, a Kano slam, and then like a fast tag to Mello, who then took down Ford, who got tagged in, but then Bane saved her. Ford did a handspring head scissors, and then Bane followed this up with a pump kick to Jay. After a commercial break, Mello made the hot tag, delivering a low snap German and a brutal running knee to Ford for a 2. Bane tossed her. Bane tossed her own partner to get to the corner. Like literally, like Penelope Ford was knocked down, not out, but down. Megan Bane runs in, grabs Penelope and just throws her basically into the corner. It's on the apron. Tag. There we go. In the ring, Mello met her with a hard forearm, threw her into the corner and hit 3 big running boots. Mello then wanted a DDT, but Bane spun out, tried to go for the face descent, but Mello escaped on that, landed on her legs, rolled her through, and got a leg submission. I don't know the name of the submission, but some sort of a leg submission. And here's my one big thing. How come in wrestling, when someone is about to be pinned in a tag match, the partner will run in and break up the pin attempt? But when a wrestler is in a submission, 90% of the time, the partner does not run in to try to break up the submission. Is there like some secret rule? You can't break up submissions like that? I don't know. I thought about it tonight because that's what happened here. Mello had Megan Bane in a pretty good submission for quite a while. And Penelope just stood there on the apron, or leaning over the ropes, just watching. Just watching. Anyways, where was I? The fight spills to the outside. Megan Bane rolls to the outside. Mello jumps up on the apron and hits her with a cannonball off the apron to the floor. Jay then flew off the second rope with a crossbody onto Bane. Ford followed suit with a moonsault onto Tay J. Back inside the ring, Bane hit a dueling Samoan drop follow-away slam, but Ford ordered Bane to make the tag instead of going for the cover. Ford got Mello up in the fireman's carry, but Mello escaped into a gory special twisting lifting knee. A little contrived, but whatever. Jay caught Bane in a Queen Slayer on the apron, allowing Mello to get the pin. Held her back. She could pin Ford, and there we go. A little dissension there, I guess you could say. Penelope didn't let her go for the pin when she had the match won. So is Penelope really in charge here? Megan Bane just her lackey? I don't know. Post-match, Bane broke free and attacked, but KJ quickly got the better of them, and there we go. It was okay. I wasn't a big fan of the match, but it was whatever. Then we got a big video package. I don't need to recap all this. The history of Omega and Okada. Just like they said, Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada's rivalry and history goes back many, many years over many, many matches. And thanks to our partners over at New Japan Pro Wrestling, we got a lot of footage and archival stuff to show you and teach you and tell you what this feud and what this really means for pro wrestling. How these two and their matches changed the game forever. I thought it was a really good video package. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Especially if you don't fully know the story of Omega versus Okada from back in the day. From, 2017, 2018? So I would go back and watch this if you didn't see it. Really well done. Really well done. So then we get the contract signing, which is more than just the contract signing. Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. Tony Schiavone's in the ring and he's got this table, and on one side of the table is the Continental title, the other side of the table is the International title, and there's something in the middle covered up that looks like another belt. And I go, oy vey, don't tell me we're getting another belt. No, there's going to be 3 belts that they're fighting. No. They're unifying the 2 belts like we assumed they would. And they're calling this fucking thing the Unified title. Yes. AEW is introducing the AEW Unified Championship. You couldn't come up with a better name? No, I get it. I get it. You're going to unify these names. You're going to mix them together. You don't want to call it the Intercontinental Championship. Or the Continental. What was I thinking? The Continental? You want to merge them together You don't want to do Intercontinental, even though it's like WWE's not the only company that had an Intercontinental. New Japan had an Intercontinental and no one cared. But it's like AEW's going to do it, would do it, and then they'll bitch and moan people online. Oh, you copied WWE, the Intercontinental Championship. Anyways, call it the Conternational. But no, they're calling this thing the Unified Championship. What a shitty name. Because you think Unified Championship, the AEW Unified Championship. Okay. Is that the world title? Is that the main belt in this company? No, it's not. Is that you hear Unified Championship, AEW Unified Championship. The first thing I think of is, well, that's your top men's belt. Just like in WWE, you have the Unified WWE Championship. But that's not what this is. It's the Unified title. Continental and the International have merged into one. Now, the belt doesn't look bad. I think it looks good. And according to Sean Ross Sapp, he said that the reason that they didn't want to give it like an Intercontinental name or another similar name, because they don't want it to be seen as a mid-card championship. They want this to be seen on the same level as the world title, as like a 1B. And I go, excuse me? What? You want 2 men's world titles? But you still only got 1 brand of wrestlers? At least in WWE, they got 2 brands. They got a Raw and a SmackDown. So you can have 2 world titles. 1 for Raw, 1 for SmackDown. But AEW's got 1 goddamn roster. So to say you have 2 titles that are both considered top main titles? What? Makes no sense. Makes no freaking sense at all. So, we'll see. You got their 2 best wrestlers. Well, in a way, but not really. I don't know. Okada's kind of just cruising right now. And Kenny's been doing well. Doing some good things, but to say, oh, well, they want this to be on the level as the World Championship. No. If you had 2 brands and you had a Dynamite brand and a Collision brand, sure, go for it. Have 2 different championships. 2 world titles, like WWE has the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. But that's because they have 2 rosters. And then they have the NXT title. That's a whole separate thing as well, because it's a different roster of wrestlers. But I don't know. Anyways, Shivani is in the ring, like I stated. They got the contract there, and Shivani said before they make this official, he needs to unveil something, what they'll be fighting for. The Unified Championship. And there's these cool side plates on it. One side plate has Okada doing a Rainmaker, and the other side plate on one side is Omega doing a One-Winged Angel. There's no theatrics here from Okada, who wastes no time and just signs the damn contract. But Kenny gotta go on a Kenny. Omega took the mic and said 7 years, almost to the day they had their first match, and Omega almost doesn't recognize himself. So let's leave it in the ring one final time. Omega signs. The 2 have a little face-off. Omega offering a handshake and Okada obliging. Talk a little trash, and then out comes Don Callis. Callis' music hits. He walks out, and Kenny immediately goes, Don, no, you ain't going to ruin this. No, I know you and your game. Where are your boys? Where are your guys? They're going to come attack me? Cut the shit. We ain't doing this. But as Omega is distracted by Don, he gets attacked from behind by Okada with a Continental Championship. Okada attacks Omega, and Callis gets up on the apron and gives Okada a police baton. He then proceeds to whack Omega over and over with it on the back, the midsection, and so forth. Even, I think, hits him in the face with it. Eventually, Omega falls to the floor. Cameras are frantically running around the ring. They finally get to him, and he's coughing up blood. His insides are coming to the outsides. And I'm like, oh, hey, blood. In a company that overdoes blood, this meant nothing. I get it. The diverticulitis, they're playing that up. He's hurting. He's coughing up blood. It should be a big deal. It should be a holy shit moment, if you know what I mean. But because they use blood just way too often in this goddamn company, someone coughing up blood to me is just like, oh, cool. Okay, what's next? Unlike in not to compare it to WWE, but if you see someone coughing up blood in WWE, you go, oh shit, this is not the norm. What is this? This is supposed to be a big fucking deal. But in AEW, we're fucking, and I get it. I don't think Ospreay was bleeding for real earlier. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But like just a couple weeks ago, they did that Harley Cameron spot with the fake blood and the fake broken nose. So it's like, and we knew this is fake blood too, because it was way too thick. I get it. He's supposed to be throwing up his guts, but still, fuck. I don't know. Mr. Christopher Daniels comes down and tries to stop everything, and they put Omega on a stretcher, say they got to take him to the hospital and this and that. Well, Fightful actually has a little more on the details of the Omega Okada match, the new title, this, that, and so forth, as they do write the following. Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega is official for All In, with some big stakes. It was revealed on AEW Dynamite that the match would unify the AEW International and Continental title into the new AEW Unified Championship. We were told that this match has been on the table and has been tentative for almost a year, and that the firm plan was to get to All In for this match dating back to December for Kenny Omega's New Japan return. We have not heard that, quote, Intercontinental title was considered for a name, but all indicators that we were told were given to us that the title would be booked as a perceived top championship opposed to being a mid or upper mid card belt. Match announcement was credited internally as the reason AEW moved over 1,400 tickets for All In just the last week. For those asking about the future of the Continental Classic as a result, the word is it's here to stay. So there we go. And they say if for some reason there was any doubt, the injury on Dynamite was just an angle. Duh. So good on AEW for announcing a huge match and selling a bunch of tickets. They're at 18,000 now. And I see people on Twitter going, oh my God, they're going to get to 20. We're so happy they're going to get to 20. Is 20 really even that big of a deal for this show? Because if all they do is 20, even 25, but say they just do 20,000 for All In Globe Life Field. Well, first off, there's some dumb people that don't know how many people could fit in Globe Life Field. So let's talk about that. There was someone on Twitter going, because someone goes, is 20,000 really that big of a deal in a 40,000 seat building? And some guy kept going on Twitter that I saw in multiple comments, 35. They can do 35 for baseball games. Yes, for baseball games. But when you do a wrestling show, you're adding floor seats that you can't have at a baseball game. The record inside of Globe Life Field was set by a Morgan Wallen concert in 2022 for 43,598 tickets sold. No, in attendance. So they could do over 40. Now here's the other thing. First year we got All In, Wembley Stadium, 81,000. Woo, holy shit. Then they go back the next year, last year. What did they do? A little over 40. 50% less of a first year. So if they go in here with only 20 this year, that's another 50% drop. And I know that people are going to go, well, it's in a different area and a different building and a different arena, a different country. It doesn't matter. Because if WWE went to Dallas, Texas and did say 70, 80,000 in AT&T Stadium, say they do 80. Then they go to Philly the next year and only do 40. Then go to Vegas the next year and only do 20. Fans will be, oh, WrestleMania is not a draw anymore. WrestleMania, 50% drop every time. But when I posed that on Twitter today and I was like, well, 50% drop almost, year to year. I got but they're not in Wembley anymore. So it's not the same. But it is the same. Because it is a show that is not in the same place every year. Shouldn't be in the same place every year. But it's your biggest show of the year. So it should be selling more tickets than any other show. And what did Revolution do this year? Because I know Revolution was a big one for them. AEW Revolution 2025. What was the attendance on that? 11,000. Okay, never mind. Oh, fuck. 11,000 in the Staples Center? I thought that was at least more. I thought that was more. 11,000 in the Staples Center is not good. Crypto.com Arena. Because they do 19 for basketball. That's no floor seats. So, let me see. What did WrestleMania 21 do in that same building? 20,000. So, yeah, everyone's like all up in arms and praising AEW because they might hit 20,000. But it's like, you hit 20,000, that's another 50% drop, which means it'll be a legit 50% drop year to year for All In. And then they're going to use that excuse of, well, it's in a whole different country this year. All In should be a traveling show every year, just like WrestleMania. If it's your biggest show of the year, like, I don't care per se. Like, I'm not one of these people that are so pissed off that Mania's in Vegas again. But, like, I don't know. Beating a dead horse here. Because everyone's going to praise AEW for doing 20,000. I think they can maybe get to 25. That's the number that I've been predicting since the start. I would like a good number for them would be 25. 20, okay. Anything under 20 is a fail. I don't think they're going to be under 20. But 20 is borderline fail. Anything above 20 is good. 25 should be the goal. The real goal should be 35, 40. They're not going to hit that. They're not even going to come close to 30, I don't think. And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. I would love to see them do 30,000 in Globe Life Field. I don't think they get even close to 25, though. Because what else are they really going to announce other than Okada Omega is going to sell 1,400 tickets in a week? Like Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay? No. I can't think of really any more matches that would be big deals. That's the only other match that I can think of that would be considered a big deal. Like, I don't even know what MJF's doing at the pay-per-view. Like, what is MJF's doing at All In? He's got to have some sort of a singles match. I don't see him being in a trios match. Oh my God, don't tell me it's the Hurt Syndicate versus the Ops for the trios titles. And so they can have the trios titles and the tag titles and put a title on MJ. Oh, no. Anyways. So they're putting Omega on a stretcher. Okada and Don Callis are running away through the garage area. Fucking Marvez is there. I forgot this guy was even still. He's like Don, Okada, what was all that? And he's like doing his shitty ant question deal. And yeah, fuck, I hate Alex Marvez. He's so annoying. They jump into a car, they don't give him an answer, and they go. Because they're running away like they think the cops are going to come and fucking arrest them. They did nothing wrong. It's a wrestling show where someone earlier almost had their head smashed with the goddamn chair. You hit the guy with a baton. Whoop-de-doo. It's not like anyone was coming out to Kenny's aid anyways to help him. So who are you running away from? Who you fucking running away from, Don Kazuchika? I don't know. That's right at the top of the second hour. Or no, third hour. So now we're into the final 2 hours of the show. It's Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness on commentary, and then we just get a fucking run-of-the-mill collision. It's not all that great. The Kyle Fletcher and Anthony Bowens. We got Adam Cole on commentary. I really think it's going to be Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher for that TNT title at the pay-per-view. But, yeah. Fletcher and Bowens, it was just all right. Archer took out old daddy ass. Cole said that Bowens has been on a good little run since he returned. And I go, no. What is he, 2-2, now 2-3 or something like that since his return? And one was beating Caster that shouldn't even count. He goes, he's got a little record going there. Maybe I should give him a shot at the TNT title. Then he scissors with old Billy. Fletcher blocked the gun at one point with the crotch chop before running down Bowens with a shoulder tackle. Bowens then dodged a PK. Excuse me, trying not to burp right into the microphone. And then PK into a DDT, and then an ankle slam for a 2. Fletcher responded by sending Bowens onto the apron and followed this up with a running boot that saw Bowens crash to the floor. Back from the break, Bowens managed to battle back with the Famouser and got a near fall off of it. Fletcher dodged a right hand and sent Bowens to the floor once again with a Snapdragon suplex. He teased going for like a apron powerbomb right in front of Adam Cole, but then didn't do it. And I'm just like, oh God. Thank you. Bowens got out of it. Because Fletcher got yelled at for this when he did it to Adam Cole because he was not in the right position. Could have almost killed Adam Cole. Luckily, only Adam Cole's elbow hit, not the back of his head. Anywho. Fletcher wanted a brainbuster, but Bowens slid through that as well. Super kicked out the leg and hit a nice twisting DDT for a 2. Bowens then locked on a mollywop. Fletcher avoided and hit a thrust kick, followed by a sit-out Liger bomb for a 2. There was then a running corner kick that connected. Bowens countered a brainbuster into an arrival for a near fall. As it come down to the finish of the match, Bowens again went for the mollywop, but Fletcher rolled outside. Bowens went up top and hit a huge dive on to Fletcher as Archer took out Billy Gunn, gave him a crotch chop and a big boot. He also threw him into the barricade. Back inside the ring, this distracted Bowens, allowing Fletcher to hit the running corner boot and successfully hit the brainbuster to pick up the victory. Fletcher then stared at Cole and basically said, I want the title, TNT title. So I think we're getting the TNT championship on the line. Adam Cole, Kyle Fletcher, all in. Pretty sure that's what we're getting. So MJF, we get a video. It's MJF, the American hero. And they're just hyping up his match next week in Arena, Mexico. And they tell us it's official. Then Carlos Cabrera is in the middle of the ring. And the crowd, they're reacting like they don't know who this guy is. They're not chanting him like they would have if it was WWE. But they're just not really reacting. And he's like, I'm here to promote the collaboration of great things to come from AEW, CMLL. Next week is Grand Slam, Mexico. Now, I want to bring out a wrestler, a luchador, who debuted 40 years ago. He is an idol for generations, a champion among champions, a legend of all ages. He is one man that's taken many masks, a real living legend. Atlantis! And I'm like, oh, that's it? It's Atlantis? Oh, and Atlantis Jr.'s with them. That's it? Just these two blokes? And they get down in the ring, and before they do anything, FTR's music hits. Stokely grabs the mic and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. You say the words living legends. We got real living legends right here. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler. And I'm not even going to recap all this. I didn't really get much notes here. They're just talking shit, talking crap. Harwood ran down FTR's accomplishments. The crowd's booing them. They said they took out Rock and Roll Express so they could take out another old guy. They said they also took out the pill popper, Nigel McGuinness. They then said, people keep asking, where's Adam Copeland? We got his brains sizzling on a fajita plate of Chili's. Harwood then called Atlantis the oldest wrestler in all wrestling. And I'm like, is he? I don't know. FTR wrestled back in his day and said if FTR wrestled back in his day, the 30s, it would have fared well because they would have beat his ass. He said he can't get a big bag. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, they keep on bitching and moaning and all this stuff. And then Don Callis' family runs out. And then everybody else starts running out. And then more people run out. And then there's more people running out. And then I just lost track of what the fuck was going on. Because like I tried to recap this. And eventually there was about 50 people in the ring and outside the ring. And just everybody's brawling. And I don't even know who half these people are. Because there's all these guys in masks. I think one was Bandito. I know Bandito for sure was out there. But then I don't even know who. I heard the name Templario by commentary, but I couldn't tell you which one was Templario, unfortunately. Brody King's music then hits. He runs down. He joins the melee, and they're all still just going and going and going. And fuck me running. Apparently this was sets up that 12-man tag next week. Mother fuck. Lexi Nair's in the back with Brian Keith. Her husband, Big Bill. They say that they're stacking wins because they want to get back to the tag titles. They beat the Gates of Agony a few weeks ago and said that if there's another tag team out there that wants to fight them. And all of a sudden the Workhorsemen show up. They said they failed in the past, but they're here to make a new name for themselves. JD Jake and Anthony Henry say that if Bill and BK want to fight, they can punch them. They'll punch in and knock them out. Bill said, if they want to go, we'll crack some skulls. Keith then yelled, crack, crack. And then Drake and Keith kind of looked at him. And there we go. So it looks like eventually, I don't know when. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Brian Keith and Big Bill versus the Workhorsemen. So that time is Toni Storm versus Julia Hart. And I'm going to be completely honest. I was bored through all this. This match was just there. And fucking why is Mercedes eating again? Why is she out here eating food again? For what reason? It was dumb as shit last week and it was dumb as fuck this week. So there was no reason for this match at all to happen because it was like the last week was the tag match. It was Tony and Mina versus Julia and Sky Blue. Tony and Mina won. But what the fuck is the reason to do this match again as a singles match now? No Mina. Sky Blue was there and got kicked out about 90 seconds in. So, like again, fucking AEW doing just random ass matches for no reason. Now, if they hadn't have done the tag match last week and they were just like, hey, Toni Storm wants a match and because you've been doing those what's it called? Open challenges and Julia said, I'll take your match. Cool. That would make a little bit of sense because there was the open challenge and this, that, and so forth. But for them to get beat last week and then her get a match with the champion this week, it just makes no sense. Like a lot of this fucking show and booking. Especially the shit on this Collision part. This Collision 2 hours. And they didn't want to call it Dynamite. They didn't want to call it Collision. This 2-hour Collision kind of sucked. I mean, I was bored through all of it. First 2 hours, I was liking it. I thought that was a great episode of Dynamite. And then we go into a bunch of bullshit. Anyways. So, Nigel McGuinness said that he loved to have a bite of that. Talking about Mercedes and her food. Storm went over to Monet's table, but was attacked from behind by Sky Blue and Hart before the bell even rang. And so Aubrey Edwards is like, you know what? Before this even starts, Blue, go to the back, you're out. They argue and this and that, and Luther tended to Tony. He ain't kicked out. Storm then struggled to get to her feet. Aubrey Edwards they got her in the ring, and Aubrey Edwards is like, you ready? You ready? You know, she's waiting on Tony, and Tony's like, ring the bloody bell. The match starts. Hart immediately just hit a moonsault and got a 2 off of it. Storm battled back with a snap drop kick. There's a hip attack. And launched Hart to the floor. And she looked into the camera and said, I'm going to go to commercial or something like that. She threw it to commercial. After the break, Hart regained control. She wanted to go for the Undertaker rope walk, but was crotched by Storm. Follow this up with a series of snap Germans, Saito suplex, and a fisherman suplex. There was a very unimpressed Mercedes at ringside on her phone. Apparently, we learned she just sent out a tweet stating, next week we're in Mexico. They got a women's champion. I want to face her for her belt. Zuxus, let's go, or something. I don't know what the tweet actually sent. But she sent out a tweet basically saying that she wants to go for the CMLL women's title. Storm battled back after off of a tarantula and hit the sky high for a 2. His commentary told us about the tweet. You know, she wants to be Mercedes 5 belts. And I'm like, no, you want to be Mercedes? Get the fuck off my TV because you're annoying. So commentary then starts just talking about this and not the match and this and this and this and this and this. And all of a sudden, Storm rolls her up with the big package and pins her. And I'm like, oh, fuck, the match is over. That was it. Okay. This commentary literally lost interest in the match and was talking about, you know, if Mercedes challenges Zuxus for that title next week and beats her, then she's going to have 5 championships. And if you guys don't know, she randomly showed up at a show in, what was it, Peru this past weekend and won another belt. But yeah. He just gets the win after commentary lost interest. Talk about other things. Mercedes. Afterwards, Storm celebrated her win, but failed to see Monet enter the ring, standing over her. Monet helped Storm up and then sniffed her. She's like, sniffing her hair, and then she whispers something in her ear before grabbing her by the head and slamming her down on the mat. Fired off some punches and bunches. Mina Shirakawa's music hit, and she runs down to the ring to finally make the save. And I'm like, where the fuck you been this whole time? Monet bailed. Shirakawa tended to Storm, taking her attention off Monet, who ran back in and attacked Mina, launching her out of the ring. Monet held up the AEW Women's Championship, and Storm kissed her title Goodbye. So, yeah. Can we just get Mercedes Moné Mina match recently? Let me see. This will be easy to check because the Mercedes doesn't work much. Shirakawa. Oh, no. So we didn't do the singles match. They just had that match for the New Japan the triple threat for the New Japan title that Amiz or Azumi won. It's AMZ, but they call her Azumi or whatever. Azum, whatever. Fuck it. So they could, based off of this, not next week, but maybe the week after, do Mercedes versus Mina. That would make sense. She came back and attacked Mina from behind. Mina's going to want revenge, but Mercedes already has a match next week for the CMLL title. Regardless, this all sucked. Lexi Nair's in the back with Ricochet, and this wasn't all that great either. Ricochet's just like, ha-ha, I'm looking for a group. Y'all want guys to help me. But Christian and Lee Johnson walk up and go, hey, we saw you last week at ringside, peeping on us, watching us. We want a guy to help us out. We can help you out. We want to join you. And he's like, yeah, you guys ain't good enough. Literally, he's just like, yeah, you guys ain't good enough. Ha-ha, and then left. Basically told him they got something missing. That doesn't make him good enough. And we get another fucking tag match that means nothing. We got a fucking mixed trios match. It was Mark Briscoe, Tomohiro Ishii, and Willow Nightingale versus MXM Collection and Taya Valkyrie with Johnny TV on the outside. And I'm like, if this isn't a fucking you can fast forward collision match, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is one of those, you watch Collision the next day on your DVR and you fast forward this one. Thankfully, it was fast. It was quick. And apparently we're getting Chris Statlander and Willow again because they keep talking about that shit. So not much really happens early on. Ishii sells some stuff. Willow tags in. Her and Taya go at it. MXM Collection being the MXM Collection. They're fucking male models. They're still the same damn gimmick. Everyone over here, oh, Vince has no good ideas in the last decade. Vince isn't. These fuckers took Vince's idea and ran with it outside of WWE. Male models, the Maximum Male Models was a completely 100% Vince gimmick, Vince idea. And for some people, and for some reason, people love them in AEW and ROH doing this. But they hated them when they did it in WWE. Just saying. Just saying. This is literally a Vince creation. So moving forward, also remember, guys, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating donating bits on Twitch or a super chat on YouTube. So like I said, Willow gets tagged in. Her and Taya go at it for a little bit. Then there's locomotive offense from MXM Collection that led to a break. After the break, Briscoe flipped out of a backdrop and tagged a Nightingale, who backdropped Mansoor out of the ring with a wild run on Valkyrie. One point, Nightingale wiped them all out with a cannonball. Ishii and Briscoe then ran through Madden back inside the ring, but Mansoor sent Briscoe into his partners. Where was I? Like, I kind of have notes here. I was like chicken scratching at this point. Ishii made the save off of a Doomsday device, but Mansoor bit Briscoe with hit Briscoe, or a bit for some reason, with a sunset bomb, only to turn it into a pounce by Nightingale. Madden then was hit with a superplex from Ishii and Nightingale, leaving Briscoe in the ring. Froggy Bow pick up the win. There we go. Well, no, he hit the Froggy Bow. Then Taya tried to kick Willow. Willow hit her with a Dr. Bomb, pinned her. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this match sucked. I was bored. There was nothing here that had any. There was no reason for this match. Oh, we need to fill a couple of minutes. We need to fill 5 minutes. Don't get me started on filling time, because we'll get to it in a second. So we're in the back, and they tried to make this, and we see this sometimes. I don't like the inconsistencies in these backstage promos. It's like sometimes they're just with with Lexi or with Renee, Then we saw the one earlier where it's Alex Marvez just running up on him. But then in this one, that is really a cool concept and would set AEW apart. Now, granted, then it would put Lexi and Renee out of a job. But I love when the cameraman just walks up to somebody. They do this periodically every so often here and there. When the camera just walks up to somebody and goes, Chris, hey, can I ask you a question? You know, and it just feels different. And she's like, oh, what do you want to ask me? About Willow again? That's all anyone ever wants to ask me about. And ask me if I'm done with her. Then if she's done with me. And I'm like, you know, like they have a better camera for this segment too than they use in the regular backstage segments. You could tell because the quality of the shot is better. And so it's like, why aren't all the backstage segments like this? You know what I mean? Make it so it's Renee walking up, not with the camera, but like she's got a cameraman next to her and she just walks up and she goes, hey, I don't know. But this was so much better and different. And they need something that's going to make them stand apart from WWE or TNA or whatever. Don't do the normal. We got an interviewer, question, boom, there we go. No, do this because these are different and cooler. So she's like, folks should realize that there's no one on this roster like me. And that's why, you know, enough isn't enough. I haven't got the opportunities I wanted. And then Wheeler Yuta walks up. He's like, hey, I know things have been rough for you since you left Best Friends. It's not easy seeing how things have worked out for me with the Death Riders. But, you know, he said, forget about Willow. Focus on other things. Make your own choices. Don't let others tell you what you need to be doing. Where I'm like, oh, because Mox is always telling you what to do. Anyways, Statlander's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And she goes to walk away. Then all of a sudden there's Marina Shafir. And you just like, oh, where'd you come from? And she kind of stared at you to like, what was that all about? And then they snicker. Was Marina going to go after Willow? I mean, not Willow, Chris. Are we getting Statlander and Willow? Or is it going to be Marina Shafir and Statlander? I don't know what the fuck this was, but it was different and it was cool. I want more backstage promo segments like this. We see it sometimes for their social media. We see it more on their social media only, not on the shows. Granted, Renee's great, Lexi's great, but give us more of this. So then they fucking tell us at the 3.5 hour mark, this is our standby match, ladies and gentlemen, is the ROH World Champion Bandito against the Beast Mordos. And I go, hold the phone. Do you not know what I know? Tony Khan loves Mid-South. And Mid-South always did the standby match. But does he not fucking know what a standby match is? Back in the day, Mid-South Wrestling used to do the gimmick of a standby match where everything else went so fast that we still have time left on the program and we don't want to end the show early, so we have wrestlers in the back ready to go just in case we need them. At the end of the show, when everything else booked for the show, pre-announced, is already taking place. No. They're going to fucking throw this out there. The 3.5 hour mark. 3:15-ish. We're still got like 30, 40 minutes left in the show. And I'm like, that's not what a standby match is. That just means you had this match planned and there it is. You just didn't want to announce it ahead of time. So what the fuck was MX? Like, so you are telling me, you're fucking telling me that you pre-booked and pre-planned that fucking mixed tag match, that mixed trios match over the AEW, or no, the Ring of Honor World Champion? You're telling me that MXM Collection and Taya Valkyrie is more important than the ROH World Champion? So you're putting him in the fucking standby match? No, that bullshit should have been the standby match, if I'm going to say anything like what that... Anyways, the bell rings. I was actually into this. Fucking Bandito and Mordos are great. Bell sounds, Mordos immediately ran right into Bandito, just rolled him over. Tried to run a monkey flip, but Bandito sent him down packing. to the outside, follows up with the tope suicida. Back inside the ring, Bandito missed a dive, and Mordos steamrolled over him again in the process. Mordos ripped at the mask, as it's Mordos' time to launch Bandito to the floor. He then hit a tornillo as he went to a break. Back from the break, Mordos hit a shotgun drop kick, but missed a corner charge. Bandito connected on a huge double boot to flatten Mortos. He got a running start and did a multi-revolution head scissors that popped the crowd pretty big. There's a gorilla press from Bandito, who sprung up and hit a top rope frog splash for a 2. Mortos then avoided a 21 plex with a tornillo bomb, and then hit him with a Samoan drop for a near fall. He also hit him with a lung blower. Mortos then tried a tilt-a-whirl, but Bandito countered into a series of pin attempts. Bandito ducked a boot, hit a GTS, went up top, and was cut off by Mortos, who joined him at the top. Both men then brawled until Bandito managed a wildly impressive Revolution Fly and pinned him to pick up the victory. A great match. You're gonna call this the fucking standby match, even though it's not even the right spot for a standby match? And this is the standby match? Your Ring of Honor champion over fucking MXM Collection and Taya against Willow, Ishii, and Briscoe. Granted, Mark Briscoe, great. Ishii, great. Willow, great. Taya, even pretty good. Gimmick they got her in, I don't even know what it is, but she's just kind of meh. Taya's way better than their user in AEW. I'm going to tell you that right now. MXM Collection, that gimmick just fucking sucks. But anyways, Renee Paquette's backstage with Mercedes. She's like, hey, so you whispered something to Tony before you left the ring. What was that all about? And Monet said, I'm not one to kiss and tell, Renee. Renee then says, well, what about you wanting to challenge for the CMLL women's title? Zeuxis then walks up and goes, you want to challenge me? Challenge accepted, bitch. And drops Monet with the forearm. He's like, I'll see you next week. Like, oh shit. You're getting beat. There's no way they beat Mercedes before All In. Then things got a little interesting. Renee Paquette's backstage, and she's like, hey, we're trying to get a word on the condition of Ospreay. And all of a sudden, Hangman walks up. She's like, hey, Hangman, how are you doing? Before she can answer, the Young Bucks walk up, and they're like, hey, Hanger, you okay? Having no clue what is going on with him and the Death Riders or whatever. Paige is like, you know what? Why shouldn't I take your heads off right now? And Matthew says, quote, we were aiming for Swerve, not you. And they're like, we've only been wanting to help you. We were taking out that guy you don't like. We're clearing a path for you. He told Paige all he needed to do is stick that landing and All In and then bring that title back to the Elite. And the plan's set. The plan has been completed. And Paige is like, plan? There was never a plan. This is not the plan. I haven't talked to you guys in months. Never asked them to help at all. You guys helped me in Dynasty, and I didn't want it. I didn't want the help tonight either. Paige is like, stay out of my business. Stay out of Ospreay's business. And you know what? Stay out of Swerve's as well. Paige says, and ever burn down another home again? Because he trapped you two in it first. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Hates the Bucks. Which he should. They were on the opposite side of him. Or no, he wasn't in Anarchy in the Arena. Never mind. But anyways, regardless. Paige walks off. And the Bucks are like, oh, he just made his bed. They walk off. All of a sudden, the camera cuts around, and you see Prince Nana peeking out the door. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. He walks in. You see the doctor tending to Ospreay on the fucking table where they're just checking his head, even though he was bleeding from the nose or whatever. I don't know. And he's like, hey, boss. Hey, boss. You hear what they say out there? You hear all that? And Strickland was like, yeah, I heard every word. I'll fucking know. But I guess Hangman did something nice for Swerve? I don't know. Then we get Thekla versus Queen Aminata. And I don't know what the hell happened in this match. Whether Thekla stiffed Queen Aminata or something. But you could tell by the end of this match, Thekla wins. Queen Amanada basically no sells the finish. Like, she gets pinned and then just leaves pissed. I don't know what happened, but this match did not need to go 50-50. Queen Amanada, no disrespect to her, did not need to get this much offense on Thekla. If you want Thekla to come in and be this like dominating woman and like this great force or whatever, the new girl, you need to ever just not squashing people, but like last week, Lady Frost, give her like 2-3 moves and that's it. But then at the same time, it's Thekla. And she's got a great presence and charisma, but her in-ring's not good. Her in-ring's not good at all. And like, I have a friend that watches all kinds of Japanese wrestling. So he watches New Japan and Noah and Stardom and Marigold and all that. And I'm like, hey, give me the skinny on Thekla. What's up with her? He goes, oh, she ain't good. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. She had some of the worst Stardom matches of the year. I'm like, oh, shit. So, she ain't nothing special, guys. They want her to be special, but she ain't. And they told us that tonight when she went 50-50 with Queen Amanada. So there's a scoop slam from Amanada to start things off. That's when first thing you just go, oh, shit. Amanada takes the first move. Yep, Thekla, you're done. Thekla answers back with a snap arm drag. There's a stalemate. Amanada wanted to test her strength, showing off her size advantage, and Thekla opted to slap her in the face instead, and Amanada returned the favor. There's a series of hair mares, running knees. Thekla then took a powder, and Amanada did some push-ups in the ring while she waited for her. Thekla slowly slid back into the ring, but Amanada just blasted her with another knee. Thekla battled back, draped Amanada between the ropes, and hit a charging boot. After a commercial break, Thekla hit a head scissors in the ropes and tied Amanada up like a spider. Amanada then answered back with a series of short arm clotheslines and a snap suplex, and nearly dropped Thekla with the right hand. And I'm like, oh, so she does the tarantula-like move too. Yet, so does Julia Hart, and we saw it earlier in the day. But now Thekla doing it, 30, 40 minutes later, for a spider doing a spider move, but the witch girl did the spider move earlier, so it's nothing. Thekla crawled out of the corner. Amanada hit an off with her head, charging boot at one point. It almost seemed like Thekla didn't make the kick out. And referee Paul Turner kind of pulled his count. Not as bad as the fucking Oba match last night on NXT, though. Don't get me started on that one. That fucking Jasper Troy guy, who to me was boring as shit on LFG, is now a top act, getting a world title shot or whatever you want to call it on NXT in the main event, and can't even kick out when he's supposed to kick out. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, this Jasper Troy. Don't get me started on that one. He won LFG, and I can name like 3 guys on that show better than him. Even that BJ guy that I hated, that is annoying as shit, is better than Jasper Troy. Now, what is his name? Anthony Luke? Not Mercedes. Maxine's real life boyfriend, he fucking should have won the whole LFG. Him or Shiloh Hill, those two way better than Jasper Troy. Way better. Anyway, this ain't an NXT pod though. Thekla managed to flash roll up and got a 2 off of it after a double stomp. She then fired off a hard forearm before doing the spider walk and flattening Amanada with a spear. Thekla then locked on the death trap and got the submission victory. And then Queen Amanada looked pissed, rolled out of the ring, and just walked off. Didn't even sell the submission, none of that. Like, she looked mad. I don't know what the hell happened here, but So we go to the back, and Lexi Nair's there with Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne, asking, hey, Kip, Christian Cage said last week you're going to have a surprise for Nick. Is it ready yet? And Wayne's like, well, thanks for asking. It is. And Nick at first was like, hey, by the way, where's Christian? He's like, oh, he said he wanted to give you some space. He goes, oh, okay. Where's my mom? And he goes, Kip tells him, oh, well, Christian said you want to put in some hard work with her. And Nick was like, what the? Never mind. What's the surprise? He's like, well, we got a best of your best of Super Juniors we want to show. Let's show the showcase of Nick Wayne. And so it like cuts to one match where he's dominating. Then it cuts to another match where Kevin Knight's beating his ass. And then he's sitting on the apron looking all dejected, sad. We cut back. Wade told Sabian, I loved it. It was great. Thanks. And he's like, what are brothers for? Sabian said that Christian wanted to tell him he's proud of him. And he doesn't know where he'd be in his life without Christian. And Nick, you're the same. Where would you be without Christian? Sabian then walked off, and Wayne didn't really look like he liked that last line. Cool. Commentary then talks about everything that went down with Okada and Omega. They say that Omega had to be taken to a local hospital. Troy said that Omega had diverticulitis, and getting hit in the gut is not a good thing for him. And I'm like, well, then why the fuck is he wrestling? I'm over this fucking diverticulitis thing. Like, granted, dude almost died. It sucks. Took him forever to heal up. Took his time. That's great. But the story of he gets hit once in his gut and he's dying again, I don't like it. It's kind of lame. Because that's the whole thing of, if he gets hit in the belly and all of a sudden he's just whatever, people get kicked in the gut all the time in pro wrestling. You get slammed down on your belly. You mean every single move or belly? Killing Omega for how fucking long? This guy's been back working 6 months now. And yeah, I just hope they don't drag this diverticulitis thing out any much more longer. The whole, because it's like, if that was anybody else that hit with the fucking baton in the back, in the head, in the gut, it would have just been like, okay. They got beat up, but it's Omega who's got a gut problem. Well, if his gut problem's that bad, then he shouldn't be fucking cleared. Just saying. Before we get to our main event, let's get the poll going on Twitch really fast. Think of Summer Blockbuster. It was just all right. Well, actually, I would have said, if this was just a 2-hour show, I would have said the show was great. But then you had the other 2 hours that sucked. It was just all right at best. All right. I didn't like it. So, poll is live on Twitch if you want to go vote there. As we talk about this match, there's the Paragon, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly with Daniel Garcia against Kenosuke Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and Hechicero. And I'm like, this is the fucking same match we had last week, other than Rocky and Trent were in it instead of what? Who was it? Hechicero. I forget who the two that, well, I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Fighter Fest 2025. The difference was it was, yeah, not Takeshita last week and not Hechicero. So, and I'm just like, it's the same fucking match. Are you kidding me? You're going to end your 4-hour show with the same goddamn match you had last week? And the same team's going to win? Setting up what? I'm going to tell you right now, my notes aren't that intricate for this match because I didn't give two shits. Oh, yeah, Daddy Magic was on commentary too. At one point, like, they have so many guys on the apron, Archer kind of just jumps off the apron for a minute, and Daddy Magic goes, hey, we're missing somebody. Why is there only a couple guys? 2, 3. What are we missing? And Tony Schiavone goes, oh, looks like Lance Archer jumped up off the apron for a second. Like, you're so bored that fucking Daddy Magic is over here counting guys that ring on the apron to make sure they got enough guys for the what the fuck? As far as the match does go, Garcia and Hechicero started things off. They're going at it. And then Garcia does the dance. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you. And there's the other thing. Fucking, I said it earlier, but we got a goddamn overrun after 4 hours. You can't tighten this show up, put it in 4 hours? No, it's got to go 8 fucking minutes long. Ay, Dios mío. So, Hechicero picked the leg, rising corner knee. Takeshita and Cole then tag in, and they start going at it. Cole escapes the German suplex into an enziguri. Double team backbreaker by Strong and O'Reilly. One point, O'Reilly and Alexander were in the ring and collided with a double clothesline when things returned from a break, as Garcia and Takeshita tagged in and slugged it out before Garcia dropped it with a flying clothesline of his own. There was a twist and shout. They got a 2. Takeshita then tried a blue thunder bomb, but Garcia countered into a dragon tamer, which Alexander quickly broke up. Strong then made the hot tag and ran wild, hitting an angle slam on Alexander, and then drop kick onto Takeshita and Hechicero. There's a gutbuster and a sick kick, and then a stronghold, cloverleaf, dragon tamer, and a guillotine applied by all the faces till Archer mowed them all down. He used O'Reilly as a battering ram. Then RPG Vice just get involved and they wipe out O'Reilly. Referee don't fucking care. Strong call for the high-low, but referee Aubrey Edwards put a stop to it. What the fuck? Saying O'Reilly wasn't the legal man. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? After all this? Really? What the come the fuck on. Archer then just jumps up on the apron, choked O'Reilly out. Alexander planted Strong with a bridging German and picked up the win. So I was wrong. The heels did win. The babyfaces won last week. My bad. But yeah, this match fucking, I at no point did I get into this match or care about it. I don't know if I would say it sucked, but it was borderline sucky. I will say that. It was borderline sucky. But that was Summer Blockbuster. Not much of a blockbuster. Now, if you want to say one of them flop busters, there you go. Like, San Andreas or Rampage. Rock had 2 big summer blockbusters. They sucked. They were fails. But we do have some stuff announced for next week's show. We got MJF versus Mystico. Remember, this is Grand Slam Mexico. Zuxis versus Mercedes Moné with the CMLL Women's title on the line. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Bucks will take on the team of Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. And finally, Adam Cole, Danny Garcia, Brody King, Bandito, and Templario, and Atlantis Jr. will team up to take on the team of FTR, Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Kester, Josh Alexander, and Hechicero. Try to do my best. Excalibur there. But that was the whole fucking show. Again, the first 2 hours, pretty damn good show. If this was just a Dynamite, it would have been like, fuck, we got a good Dynamite tonight. But you put it all in a vacuum and you add the 2-hour collision, it fucking was horrible. I mean, horrible's not a right word. It was just bad. Because the second 2 hours was not good. Not good. And I hate that I got to say that and shit on AEW again like I normally do, unfortunately. Because the first half of this show was so good. But then they give us the shitty part. Like, how is it that you literally booked Dynamite and a collision instead of just one long good Dynamite? Or was it that you've got all these fucking 250 wrestlers on the roster, but the guys that you used on Dynamite are your only good ones and everybody else is just meh? It's almost like 2 different fucking people wrote the show and booked the show, but we know it's all Tony, which is the weird thing. Because a lot of times Collision does feel like a different person booking that show than Dynamite. Like, I don't watch Collision every week. I try to watch it once or twice a month just to keep up and see what's going on. And a lot of times it does feel like some new guy has come in and booked Collision. Someone that Tony's training and letting it, you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, let's check the poll to see what you guys thought of the show. As we go here. Refresh. That's not what I wanted. I want the Twitch YouTube poll. Come on. Reload YouTube. As far as the Threads poll does go, 73% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. Excuse me. As far as the Twitter X poll does go, 39% liked the show, 34% didn't like the show, and 26% thought it was just all right. Oofa. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 61% liked the show, 26% thought it was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Looking at the live poll, 75% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Finally, we got one vote on Twitch, and that person liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll